DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's AMA with DeFi Kingdoms. We're going to jump straight into some pretty exciting stuff. We got some updates to talk about, and then we will be talking about or answering some community questions. So, kicking things off, we have a pretty exciting update, I think. So, as I hope you all know by now, we are doing our open PvP testing this weekend. Everybody can participate. There's no whitelist required. You will be able to use catalog heroes. So if you don't have any heroes, you can still get in and participate, or if you just want to try out some other people's heroes. So really looking forward to that. But we're actually going to be stepping up this weekend a notch. So I got to go send a tweet real quick, and you should all go check the DeFi Kingdoms Twitter page now, because it is live as of now. Coming over to drop the link in as we speak. All right, so I'm going to turn my camera on because I'm really excited. Actually, can I share my screen? Am I smart enough to do this? Hang on, let's see. Let's find out. It's questionable.
Well, I'm taking a big risk here. Who knows?
I know, right? Terrifying. This is the tweet that is live as of now. We are going to be giving away $5,000 this weekend through the open playtest weekend. So, in order to participate, you need to send a tweet once. Obviously, this has started because Condition 2 requires you to be in combat. But send a tweet with the hashtag DFK PvP testing, and then have a screenshot, a video, or a thread about one of your PvP battles, and give us your thoughts on the gameplay. It does not. You will not get disqualified if your thoughts are not overly, just fluff. We aren't grading your responses here. So we want your honest feedback. Tell us what you think about PvP, how it feels. But $5,000 total. We are going to pick 100 winners to receive $50 each in Metis. That Metis will be delivered after the public launch of PvP, and you can double your chances. So essentially, you need to be following Metis and ourselves. Use the hashtag, send a screenshot, video, or thread, and then if you tag 3 friends in your post will count for 2 entries instead of 1. Also, huge shout out to Winston. It did not give me my thumbnail that I wanted, but that's okay. This YouTube link right here is to a quick little tutorial video that Winston put together on how to participate. So we are going to be using a testing site for the I just realized that my camera's on, but you can't see me. Winning.
Kind of see you, I think. No, I guess we can't. Huh? You're under the awesome.
So we will be using a test site for the public testing weekend. So stay tuned for that link. As always, exercise extreme caution. Only use the link that we provide. Be careful. Be smart. Be vigilant. But we will share that feedback or that link as well. But really excited for this. Really excited for the open playtesting weekend. Get a bunch of people in there, check out the experience, tell us what they think about PvP, but also get 100 people $50 each, which is pretty awesome if you ask me. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. So yeah, very, very excited for that. The testing weekend will be live tomorrow from 4 p.m. Eastern until Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So it will start 26 hours from now is when it will go live. We will share out the link to the testing site, and you can just hop in there and start bashing each other. We are going to, or actually, I already made the channel in Discord for looking for match. I will turn messaging permissions on at that time to try to make it a little easier for you guys if you're trying to coordinate with people. Let's see, coming from chat, you can absolutely tag rivals. I support tagging rifles. Actually, no additional entries for effusive adoration, not this time, though it'll make me happy to read it. But yeah, no assets are needed to participate in this testing weekend, which is super exciting. I believe you can use Halliday wallets. I think. Winston, do you happen to know off the top of your head? I think they work.
That's a good question, Bolon. I'm gonna take that offline and get right back to you. They should work. It should be fun.
Cool. So we'll follow up on that one as well. But yeah, really excited for this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Anything anybody wants to add on this weekend, and then we will continue moving on.
I'll just say this is, again, another representation of just how bullish Metis is and our partnership with them. They saw us doing this playtest weekend. They're like, do people need assets? No, they don't need assets. They can pull from any hero in the entire deck. So, and they're like, okay, well, can we incentivize them? Can we get the word out bigger? Can we shoot this out to all of our partners? Can we pay, like get prizes out there for the players? We're like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. They stepped up big time. We stepped up big time with them. And so we're just really excited about this initial jump in. So anyone who hasn't played the game, anyone who hasn't been in hunts, anyone that you've wanted to tell about DeFi Kingdoms, but you thought, well, it's a little complicated, they may not get it, whatever, this is the weekend you want them to be checking things out. Send this to everybody, get it out there. Let's have a lot of fun.
Anybody you want to beat in PvP, this is the weekend. Awesome. So moving on to our second update, going to pass it over to Winston to talk about some events last night.
Yeah, thanks, Bolon. I am going to talk about PvP for just like a second, since it's my turn anyways. Super excited to make some people cry. I'm looking forward to that. Like, see this? Make you cry. Really excited. It feels like a huge milestone, because it was like so many games start with PvP. Like the draw is that, like, oh, you can fight each other and do all this stuff, and we did so many other things before we got to PvP. So pretty exciting that people are actually going to get to fight each other, and that I'm going to be able to like make some of you cry, like now, like from losing, not just like emotionally. So I look forward to that. Last night, so Duels Season 9 has started. You can get out there now and duel each other. There is a new list, a new class boosts order. That's an announcement in Discord. You can find that. And I'll just read it here really quick, so it'll be in the transcript of this. So Group 1 is Berserker, Pirate, Summoner, Dragoon. Group 2 is Warrior, Scholar, Dread Knight. Group 3 is Priest, Archer, Shapeshifter, Bard. Group 4 is Thief, Wizard, Paladin, Sage. Group 5 is Ninja, Legionnaire, Spellbow, Seer. Group 6 is Knight, Dark Knight. And if you guessed Monk, you're right. It's the Monk. So yeah, I hope everybody's having fun doing that. I got to get in there today and lose a couple of duels to y'all. And I look forward to buying stones from you later. Good luck, duelers. Thanks, Bolon.
Hey, I get my participation trophy every season. Might be all I get, but I get that, dang it. Let's see. So, as you have likely noticed, we have a few folks that are not with us today. Beetle and Magnus are relegated to their coding caves. Actually, so is Fox, but he came to hang out with us, even though he's coding in the background right now. But we also do not have Dreamer with us today, for good reason that I'm going to pass over to Sunbear to talk about.
Yeah, thanks, Bolon. Dreamer, as usual, is traveling and representing DeFi Kingdoms for all of us. He's really stacked up a big week. He's headed to the airport right now to fly over to Singapore, where he is going to be speaking at the Asia Blockchain Gaming Alliance. He'll be on a panel there with Metis, with some big folks there. And he'll also be attending and probably speaking at a Kaya event. Kaya is the new Klaytn, in case you were wondering what Kaya was. I think their event's called Ride the Wave, and it's a big introduction of the Line Messenger and how it's going to be integrated into the new ecosystem. Elena, I believe, is who he's on the panel with the ABGA Alliance as well. And then, of course, attending Token 2049, representing us there. And also, Karate Combat is having an event at Token, which he'll be representing us at that event as well. So if you're anywhere around Singapore, go see Dreamer in all of his many events that he's attending and participating in. Thanks, Dreamer.
Thank you, Sunbear. Greatly appreciate you. All right, we are going to jump into some questions now. So, warning up front, today is going to be very, very Hubert heavy, just the way our AMAs are meant to be. So, we're going to kick things off. Since PvP will be launching soon, do we have any concerns or thoughts over power gaps for new players who want to try PvP and leveling heroes?
I guess I just want to remind that with PvP, we are planning to have like all sorts of customization that you can do in terms of like limiting what your opponent can choose as far as against you. So like you could do level 1 heroes if you wanted to and limit it to level 1 heroes only, or do level 5 or whatever number you want to use. You know, I hope to see some people try to do like low level battles. We are going to also have low level equipment in the equipment shop that people can use for those heroes. So that's definitely an option. So I guess I'm not too worried about it. Like the customization capability that we're building into this should allow people to, you know, try to make a match with whatever, you know, whatever heroes they have. I mean, of course you need to find somebody, or somebody needs to decide to fight you, but the option is there. So I'm not too worried about it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. The toxic trait seems best intended for heroes with a multi-attack skill like archers, berserkers, and warriors, which does leave several other classes that might be less suited for it. Thoughts on how that could be more beneficial? One example given, and curious of your thoughts on it, would be having like a almost retaliate toxic, so you not only have a chance to proc when your hero hits, but also when your hero gets hit.
That is an interesting idea, and I think it would probably make Beetle cry a little bit. But I'm gonna take that into the back, and we'll think about that one. But yeah, I thought there was gonna be more questions related to that first one, so I kind of was waiting for more. But then it's like, oh, we're done. So if I can jump back to that other one.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
I guess I did want to also mention that you know, we are talking about things that we can do to like help new players like be able to more easily access PvP. You know, like this playtest weekend that's coming up that I'm really excited for. It's a good opportunity for any new player to come in and get to try it, because they don't have to have any assets. Definitely, like if there's anyone that you know that is maybe, you know, might be interested in this, now would be a good time to kind of try to pull them in. As far as like features that we're going to have potentially in the future, like one thing I think we're talking about pretty heavily is like some sort of way we can have like team rentals available, that players can put up teams for other players to rent and use. Potentially including even potions to go along with it, so that like a new player could just come in and, you know, maybe pay a small fee to rent a team to do a PvP match. That is not something that we're going to have at launch, most likely. And, you know, I'm saying we're talking about it now, so it's not even guaranteed that it'll happen, but it is something I feel like would work pretty well. So I'm championing it anyways. But yeah, we are talking about, you know, those type of things. So yeah, anyway, we really want everyone to be able to have a good chance to play and you know, try to break down some of those barriers to entry that we have.
Awesome. Thank you, Hubert. And sorry about that. I was reading Twitter and dropped the ball a little. Any thoughts on a way in the future to hide certain cosmetic traits such as head and back appendages?
I mean, that might be something that we could put on Beetle's list as like a setting. Like we do have the option to like switch to the classic view versus the current view for heroes. We could potentially have other filters that that could do that. I mean, also like with equipment coming, most heroes are not going to look like their level 1 versions anymore, especially once they get past level 3, because if you're not using current equipment, you're going to be, pretty underpowered. So there may also be some people that desire like a button to just, hide all equipment and things like that too. So I think that would be something that if we were to do it, it would be just for the user themselves, not something that you could disable your hero's appearance for other players. They'd have to like press their own button to do that if they wanted to. But that would be something that would go on Beetle's list, and it would probably be kind of far down on that list because we all know how long it is.
Never ending. Awesome. This next question I'm actually going to kick off, and then I'm sure Winston will have some thoughts, and if anybody else does, they are welcome as well. But essentially, for a new player getting into void hunts, thoughts on like guides, walkthroughs, that kind of thing, tips and tricks. I'll just say yes, very much on our list. Winston actually has, and I'm going to steal his thunder here, a phenomenal series of YouTube videos that are dedicated to each hunt and some of the walkthroughs and strategies there. But all in all, definitely very much on my list to have a repository for all of those things. There's a couple names that I'm going to avoid saying for right now, but yes, definitely something we want to keep expanding on, keep making it easier for new players to kind of pick up the basics. Go ahead, Winston.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I definitely do have some opinions on it. Aside from guides and tutorials and trying to explain the right way to do things, I think that it can be. Whoops, there I am. I think that it can be super fun and super rewarding to crash into a wall of difficulty. And then after 3 or 4 tries, you're like, okay, I see that there's. I think that the player said something about I'm crafty or I'm aware or so they said something. They were capable of kind of figuring out that there was something going on that they didn't understand, and so they sought help and figured it out. Like I think that experience is kind of rewarding. You're beating something that you started to play and had like no idea how to do it. Like it was difficult, and aside from being difficult, there's moments where it just kills you and you need to dance around those. So as far as tutorials go and guides, I think they're useful and I love them, but I also I don't want to give that stuff away in the first week or two. Like I don't want to put something in the game that just says like, here's the way to do everything, like part of the game is learning about the game, I guess I would say. Yeah.
And if I could add more onto that too, with the void hunts, we released those. You guys are kind of our guinea pigs in a way. Like we had to build this combat engine, we had to make it all work, and like really to be able to put it in, like get the numbers in the right place. We need to have difficult fights. We couldn't have it just be a pushover fight because then all of our settings were going to be not well tuned. And I think thanks to us doing that, and unfortunately we didn't really provide much by way of guides that are in the game, and that's something that we are very aware of and want to address. It's just a matter of our priorities have not been that, and I wish we had more resources so that we could have that being prioritized at the same time as everything else. But what else was I gonna say? But with PvP coming, with after PvP, we also have plans for like more standard easy content or simpler fighting, where even level 1 fights and so on. That will be much easier for like a new player to come in and kind of get their bearings. But void hunts are meant to be boss fights. They're meant to be hard. And I would generally just be opposed to us just telling you how to beat any boss fight ever. If we give enough time, people will come up with their own guides. But I think that's generally in the purview of a community of a game versus like the developer to just tell you how to beat the boss. I think if developers did do that, I mean, I wouldn't like it anyway. So,
Awesome.
anyway.
No, appreciate both of you gentlemen, and very much agree, Hubert, with that final point of like community guides are the best guides. So especially having a centralized location where that information could be housed would be very beneficial. But a lot of that is really meant to come from players. You know, if you are playing a game and you're stuck on something and you go to, you know, look it up, it's not going to be the game developer that tells you how to do it. It's going to be other players. But that's definitely something that we want to foster and encourage. And I do have some thoughts and plans in regards to that particular topic that I think you'll probably be seeing in the shorter term. So super excited for that as well. Let's see. Right now, between weapons and the diminished .s scaling, there a lot of stats have like a soft cap around 60, according to this question. I don't actually know, but we're going to go with that. Are the plans to keep it like that to prevent people from getting too strong off of stacking one stat to max, or will there eventually be weapons that don't stop scaling at those same stat maximums?
Yeah, so I don't think it's relatively easy to get to that at like level 10, which most of the weapons that you can get from the hunts are around level 10 or level 12. So like everything is designed for like a specific level. So like level 20 heroes, if they're still using level 10 equipment, they need a weapon that's more for them. And right now those don't exist. They will eventually, but yeah, right now just the Void Hunt weapons are kind of the best that we have available. Similarly, like with the new lower level equipment that's going to be coming, like the level 3 weapons, for example, or even just like the level 1 weapons that you default have, like those cap out at like 20 or 10 or 15 of that stat. So like, yeah, if you don't upgrade, you're going to be not like living up to your hero's potential anymore. And that's just kind of how the system's designed. It's designed to, you need to be upgrading to the next tier of equipment. Right now, the highest tier is the level 10 and 12 stuff from the Void Hunts. So yeah, when you get to level 20, some of your heroes are going to be reaching some of those caps.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And just to, so I mentioned in chat, so going to recap, but also probably going to do this a couple times. Open PvP testing will start tomorrow, approximately 25 and a half hours from now, plus 6 minutes. So 4 p.m. Eastern Friday to 4 p.m. Eastern Monday will be the open PvP public testing. You do not need any assets. You can borrow heroes from the catalog, use whatever you would like. So no assets are needed, no power up, no payment, and any of that fun stuff. It will be hosted on a test site, so we will release that test site tomorrow when it is time to kick things off.
I don't want anybody using my heroes though, so stay away from mine. Anything that's got a Winston or Jazz or anything like that, stand back, stay away.
Everybody specifically use Winston's heroes. We'll publish a list for you.
I'll be able to tell. Like I'll be able to tell by looking at them. So nobody use them.
So yes, very excited for that, and it will not be the last time I mention it in this AMA. Let's see. Do Heroes Gathering Profession scores play a role in Divine Essence?
No.
Do the cost of gas for expeditions go up with more things attached to the heroes, such as pets and other equipment?
Other equipment, no, but yeah, pets do. Like if your pet provides bonuses, it does require more logic for that to be taken into account. But that's not just only expeditions; it also applies to normal questing. And in expeditions, the way we've set that up is far more efficient than how it is with the normal questing too. So yes, but I think you get the benefits generally outweigh the extra gas costs that you're paying, which is really not that much, all things considered.
And just a note as well, you might have said it and I missed it. Sorry if so, but that holds true for regular questing as well, like manual questing. It's not any different.
I did say that, but yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was typing. I believe you mentioned the exact date of PvP drop last week, but I can't go back. Can you remind us? No, we did not drop that. We talked about this weekend's PvP testing, and we have not revealed the public release date yet, and we are not going to today, but stay tuned. What is the team's priority for connecting players for PvP private matches? So right now it's through invites, so using Discord or Twitter or whatever else to connect with somebody. What other plans do we have?
Yeah, so in our system, with like when PvP goes live, there will be like a battle viewer where you can see battles that are ready to be joined. You can see what the opponent's heroes are, what they're bringing. You can see whatever like settings they've set for the match, if like any sort of restrictions. And you can decide if you have a team that you want to challenge them with. So that's kind of how it will, so that'll be, you'll be able to see everything on that list. There will be filters to filter down to something that you're more interested in. And you could create your own match, and if you do, it'll show up on that list as well. So that'll all be in game. So I mean, yes, if you want to do a specific match with a specific person, then you're probably going to need to coordinate with them. But if you're just looking to find an opponent, hopefully you guys are putting up battles to go, for someone to challenge you with. It will be set up kind of in a way where you kind of have to schedule when it will start, and we are also including an option to be able to start it early if both sides agree. But just since it's all on the chain, we do have to kind of handle things in a way where it's a state machine and things are going to start at a specific time. Otherwise, some of the logic stops working. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so hopefully a lot of people won't necessarily need to go to any social sites if they don't want to, and can just find a match and play.
Awesome. Which, like I mentioned earlier, we will still have that channel in Discord, also just because it's fun, and I expect to see a lot of trash talking in it, and I look forward to that. But yeah, definitely the goal to integrate it all into the game. Changing topics entirely, does a hero's luck score have any direct or positive effect on the stat roll that it gets during level ups?
No.
Awesome. Follow up to a question last week, which was actually kind of a follow up to a question from several weeks prior, about hero level 20 hunts, and our response was yes. For heroes at level 20 that have max stamina, we do, or not max stamina, sorry, max XP. We do want to do something to add incentive to that, but it's a matter of time. Thoughts on is the issue of time ideation or implementation, and any thoughts on the idea of releasing the next rune to drop to those heroes only, but also not be able to actually use it yet?
Yeah, to that last point or thought or question, I'll say no. I don't think we'll be releasing the next rune. But as far as the blocker and getting that out, it's mostly implementation. I think we feel pretty comfortable with what to do there. It's just a matter of even if it only takes a couple of days to implement and test. That's a couple of days that right now in the state that we're in, we don't have. So really everything that's not PvP related is completely backburnered right now. You're not going to get any dev attention on it. I was up until 4 a.m. last night working on some contract code. So yeah, we're just doing PvP right now. So sorry. I know we said we'd do it, and I still plan to do it. It's just, that's not our priority right now. I hope you understand.
All resources on PvP fun. Thoughts and reflections on the Berserker in PvP and competitive play, specifically around going Berserk, and any thoughts on potentially adding a skill point allocation that would prevent a Berserker from going Berserk?
Hubert, you should go first because I'm going to need a rant about this one for a minute.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, something to make them not go berserk is like antithetical to what a berserker is. So I guess to that last point, no, I don't see us doing that. But I will say, I think, we did adjust it so it's only a 10% chance for them to hit your allies now. So that was one adjustment that we've made. I do have a few other things in mind for potential changes to just how the berserker works, but that'll kind of come out of balance testing, is kind of seeing how people use it. But yeah, I mean, I could see people use it. They do hit really hard. They do have I think a pretty decent use case as it is. But if it seems like there's just not enough compared to the other classes, we're always adjusting things. So I know I've been nerfing a lot recently, but we also can buff things too. So yeah, over to you, Winston.
Thanks, Hubert. Yeah, when I first heard the idea, excuse me, a little bit of a frog from being ill earlier this week. When I first heard of it, the idea of a kind of a skill or something where it would prevent you from going berserk, I thought it was kind of silly. And then I thought about it more and thought like that might be kind of a fun thing to do, where like, with the seer, you can use the oracle ability where you can't deal damage, so maybe he doesn't go berserk, but also he's really slow, or I don't know. And then I thought like, you should just play a knight or a warrior or something else. Like if you want to play those classes, like you should just play those. The berserker goes berserk, like that's what they do. They go berserk, they go fast, they hit hard. It might be a little wonky, but I think taking that away sort of completely defeats the purpose, which is, I mean, at the same time, that can be fun. Like you can do a heavy damage warrior or something like that doesn't do any tanking, and maybe that would be like a type of berserker, the not zerker. Somebody come up with a better name than that. But I don't know. I would just say play something else. Like if you don't want to go berserk, play I don't know, play monk or something. Monk's not going berserk. They're just going to chill out. And yeah, also if you're struggling to play it, you may want to take a look at some of the guides. I've got a couple. This is not an exaggeration, I made 4 berserker videos. So I'm way down with the Be Calmer. There it is. That's the one. I'm way down with the berserker. I think if you can't win with the berserker, you're probably playing it wrong. No offense. That was heavy. I feel like I dropped that pretty hard. That was heavy. But yeah, like
Get
maybe
good, son.
my bad, but it's the truth, right? Get good, guys, come on. If you can't win with them, you're probably playing them wrong. They are brutal with the Gorax. Like at level 10, I've got some that are doing like 180 to 200 damage per swing. And if I'm going to give a teensy tiny bit of advice, once you kill one of the other enemies, that's when your berserker will really start to run away with it, because they'll start focusing that damage in a little bit tighter. And until that happens, you just got to ride them. Like they're going to attack stuff and it's not going to make sense, but you just kind of got to attack it too, and heal them or bubble them, or let the berserker take the wheel. Like that's all I can say. Let the berserker take the wheel. Like you're overthinking it. That's it. Yeah. I'm glad someone asked this question, because this has been on my mind for a while. Thanks, Bolan.
No, thank you. I have 2 follow-up questions from chat that I'm curious of y'all's opinions on. They are berserker related, but they're more specific. Thoughts on the first one is having the Berserkier mushroom not activate if the hero is channeling, so that way it doesn't cancel the Berserker's channel for them to go berserk.
Think about it. Probably not going to do it.
And then any thoughts on the interaction between berserk and active traits and the ability to use them?
As in, like, being able to take their turn when they're berserking?
Potentially, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, probably not going to do that one either.
Cool. Like maybe they could just like berserk all of a sudden. Oh, he picked critical aim. I guess he's doing critical aim. I guess he can't like blind rage when he's berserk, right? He's just basic attacking. So yeah, I get that.
Very nice. Well, you heard it here first. get good. That was the most fun one. I just want to ask that question again and just do it all again. I enjoyed that. Is there or will there be a guide on how how a hero stats reflect into the PvP stats, such as physical defense, magical defense, speed, evasion, etc., etc.?
So yeah, I mean, again, getting back to the point of, there's, in terms of in-game resources for information, it's definitely lacking, and we are aware of that. It's again a matter of just resources, but I do want us to have, the ability to see, everything that your hero has, like how much defense and all of its stat scores and everything, like when you're not in combat, to be able to see all of that. And then to have kind of like access to some glossary or something in game where you can look up any term that is in there that's kind of a special term, to be able to get more information about it. So that's kind of like end goal. But in the time being, there are resources out there. There's a spreadsheet that is pinned in our Void Hunt discussions channel on our Discord that has I think basically all of the math in it, but you might need to spend some time looking at it and to understand it. But it does have things kind of written out. So there's that as a for now available thing for you. And again, I want to make everything more clear and have that information in game for you guys. It's just we don't have the resources to do that and also progress our PvP work at the same time. So unfortunately, that's the state we're in.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All things in due time. Does rapid renewal work/apply in expeditions?
Yes.
Nice. Bleed does not break taunt, but poison does. Are all damage over time effects meant to work the same way?
They are meant to work the same way, and that poison one is a bug, and we are aware of it, and it is in our bug ticket list.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. There's one front end question that I have again been deputized to answer. Would it be possible to get an expedition filter by number of claimable iterations? It would be more of a sort than a filter, but it is on our quality of life list to add some different sorting methods into that. Again, all resources are on PvP right now, so probably won't be an immediate thing, but it is on our list. The final question for today, as it stands now. So if you have any questions, throw them in chat, and we'll take them too, because why not? We're here. Synapse updates on Synapse, and there are a handful of heroes that have been stuck for a very long time. So yes, we are aware that there are a handful of heroes that have been stuck for far longer than is okay. So there's a couple of updates on this front, I guess. So as of now, there are a total of 28 heroes that are stuck in the Synapse Bridge. Several of those are actually from us testing stuff, so they don't really count, but they are stuck. Outside of that, Synapse has done several upgrades in order to prevent heroes from getting stuck anymore, which we have seen so far seem to be highly effective. So that's really good. If we have stopped that bleed, not poison, but if we've stopped that from happening, Synapse has been hard at work on doing some upgrades to to make that a reality. As far as those heroes that are still stuck, they are certainly not forgotten. We are in talks with Synapse about what needs to be done specifically for those heroes, because for one reason or another, they are not getting cleared by the usual methods, which have cleared all of the rest of the heroes that had gotten stuck. So progress has been made, but there is progress to go, especially for those of you that have those heroes. Genuinely, sincerely apologize for how long they have been stuck. They've not been forgotten. We are actively working with Synapse to figure out what's going on with those cases and get them resolved as quick as we can. Anything anybody wants to add to that?
They're stuck but not forgotten.
All right, cool. A couple of questions from chat. We talked about this before, but win rates by class for hunts, definitely something that would be a really cool stat to be displayed. Also something that could be really cool for one of our community devs to have displayed. So very much, again, on our list, but not a top priority in today's world. Hubert, anything you want to add to that?
I was distracted by someone's comment that makes me worried. Sorry, what was the question again?
Having like a win rate by class for
that is, we are in, so Burr, he doesn't come on our AMAs really, but he does a lot of work with analytics for our team, and also has been very instrumental in what we're doing with Divine Essence. He does have, he's currently working also on like a combat statistics, not API, but a database, I guess, that, we're going to be using internally, and we may be able to turn some of that external as well, which would be able to tell you things like that. So that is something I think is a good idea, and also is really informative for us as well, just so we can know, which classes might need more love and which ones need a little bit hate. So
awesome. Thank you, sir. Can we see a read-only list of acknowledged bugs or bug tickets in progress? We actually had that in Discord for a while, and then we just hadn't really needed it. But with combat in particular, it might not be a bad idea to bring that back. So we'll take a look at that as well and see if we can find something that doesn't add a bunch of workload to maintain. Paperwork, if you're in our Discord, if you could send me a message, that would be great, so that we can look into that error for you. There we go. Okay, so the equipment shop vendors, Arden and Regina Hammertown, are they from a place called Hammertown, or are they from Vithraven or somewhere else?
Did we put those in already?
They do show up, yes.
Oh, well, there they are. I think Hammertown was her last name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The guy's a dwarf, it's just, it's just his name.
Awesome. Very nice. I think they just wanted me to read that, but that's okay. We did. Awesome. Well, unless anybody throws any other questions in here in the next 15 seconds, we are going to wrap up a little early today and let everybody get back to working on PvP. No more questions. Awesome. So we are going to wrap up early today. As always, actually, sorry, I lied. There was a couple questions thrown in Discord that I got distracted and forgot about. Fox, do you have a moment?
Yeah. What's up?
2 duels related questions for you. The first one is, was the XP speed limit reduced? So I think we had it set to 5,000 a day max, if I remember right.
Yeah, there's a setting that basically, since starting at the start of duels, basically it only allows you to get that much per day. So after a few days, it's kind of not even effectual at all because of that. But yeah, it's meant to be a speed limit at the start.
But it has not been reduced, correct? It's the same as previous seasons?
It should be. I don't think we changed anything between last season and this season.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And then do you know by chance if recharging is working properly?
It should be. If obviously if there's any issues, you can post that as well. But it's basically configured the same way as it was last season.
Perfect. So yeah, if there are any concerns or issues or anything, just let me know and I can pass them on to be checked out. Awesome. With that, we are actually going to wrap up now. Sorry for the audible. Thank you, Fox. So as always, thank you to everybody who has tuned in and listened to us live. Thank you to everybody who will watch this recording later. Make sure that you are prepared to test some player versus player combat this weekend. Super excited. That will be going live in 25 hours and 15 minutes, 4 p.m. Eastern Friday to 4 p.m. Eastern Monday. No assets required. Connect your wallet. You can use catalog heroes. You can use your own heroes. You can use whatever you want. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun. Super excited to get all of you in there and get your hands on it and try it out. Tell us what you think and use those berserkers and see that they're amazing. But genuinely just cannot wait for that. And make sure that you keep an eye on Twitter. And if you, during the weekend, if you tweet with hashtag DFK PvP testing and a video screenshot or thread about your battle and what you think about PvP, as well as following our Twitter account and Metis's Twitter account, you can be entered to win $50 in Metis. We'll have 100 winners, which is absolutely insane. Very, very excited for that. Make sure you keep an eye on Twitter for more details on that. Also, shout out to ADFK, who is hosting a tournament for PvP during the PvP creator testing weekend. If you are interested in participating, make sure you get in touch with any of the ADFK folks. I know Kong and It's Just Crypto have been heavily involved, but I'm sure there are others as well. Otherwise, make sure you tune in and watch. It should be a lot of fun. Should be a good time. They're going to be streaming all of it, if not all of it, most of it. So just really looking forward to this. It's going to be a blast, and cannot express how excited I am for it. And thank you all for being here and participating. Thank you to everybody also on the stage who has taken time out of working on PvP to answer all of these questions so far today. We will quickly go around the horn for final thoughts, because why not? And then I'm going to have let's have Winston bullish us. I feel like it's been a little while, and he's been heavy in his testing cave. So first things first, I'm going to kick over to Sunbear. Any final thoughts you want to share?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Bolon. Just really excited about the weekend. And I want to shout out to you, Bolon. This is really kind of your vision to get these play tests going, to get early access for some of our community influencers and YouTubers and everything, reaching out to some of those big names to try and get this out there and to get access early. So big shout out to you. I know you've been working a ton behind the scenes to make a lot of this happen. And then, of course, all the builders and everybody that actually makes it happen. You can have the idea, but they got to make it happen, right? So, really excited this weekend to play with the system, to hop in the combat engine, to see if I can defeat some of my friends and family, and really looking forward to what y'all have to say on Twitter about your experience. So, let's go.
I will take all of the credit and none of the blame. I like it. Fox, sorry to distract you one more time. Any final thoughts or anything you want to share?
Just that I'm really excited about the things that are getting really close to being launched. And it's always a hectic time, right, when we've got a launch on the horizon. It's like crunch time, but it's also the fun time. It's when you see a lot of things really coming together. All the moving parts get stuck into their correct places, and we can actually see how it looks when it's all together, and it's exciting. So I guess I just want to thank all of our team for the hard work. There is a lot of late hours. I did see Hubert's messages at like almost 4 a.m. and I was like, oh no, because I was already asleep. But it's a lot of fun, and I also want to say thanks to everybody here for coming and for viewing and for supporting and for being excited about this, because we're excited about it as well. And yeah, I guess just, I won't say the B word, but you know.
Hubert, final thoughts?
Yeah. So again, super excited for this weekend. I really hope all you guys will, go in and check it out. Tell your friends, tell Twitter, spread the word, everything. This is a really big step for us as a project, and it's great to see us finally getting to this point. I'll just mention, the contract work that I was doing up until 4 a.m. last night was putting in, like, I'd say it's not finished because it hasn't been tested yet, but it's at least to a point where it can be tested. It was a pretty major system that we have kind of alluded to a bunch of times and not told you what it is. But I'm really happy to have at least that major piece of work off of my shoulders. And I was determined to get it done last night, and I was not going to sleep until it was. So hopefully it's not just full of bugs because of that, because my eyes were just blurry all over the place. But so I will also not say that word yet. Pass it on over.
Thank you. Yes, I also am very excited to tell y'all more about that system that Hubert was building that we have not told you about yet. So stay tuned. Winston, final thoughts, how much you love Berserkers, and why you are bullish.
I love Berserkers of like that much. So that's a big amount in measuring. I think they're great. They're a lot of fun. Like I said, you got to let the Berserker take the wheel at times. I think they're going to be a big surprise in PvP. Like I don't think, maybe, I don't want to say it again, I don't know that anyone's playing them exactly the way they could be played, but it should be interesting to see it go on this weekend. Keep your eye on the Berserker. I'm also bullish for permissionless coming up. It's in Salt Lake City, and that's where I live, so I'm going to be there. Anybody who comes out, you can meet me, and just if you plan to attack me, say why. It's like something, if I made fun of your dad or something in Discord, or just say why you're attacking me before you do. Let me know what's going on. But yeah, I'm just bullish for all the fun stuff coming up, and bullish for PvP, and for all those reasons, I'm bullish. See
you guys.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your